Well, today we're going to make a solo silver bar. So I'm going to show you what you need. This is the items that you'll need to make your silver bar using the Delft clay method. I think you can see that, I don't know. So first, obviously, you're going to need your Delft clay, which can be easily sourced off eBay. Then you're going to need your various items, your jeweler's rings. We'll use those in a minute, you'll see these, and various other things. Obviously, you're going to need your silver, the crucible, and your gas. This is borax, talcum powder, and a pair of scales to measure your silver. So those are the items that you'll be needing using the Delft clay method. Now, this is the second time I've done this, and I found that if using the borax, which makes the silver flow much easier around in the crucible, and also takes the impurities out of the silver or any other metal you're using in here. But I've also found it's best to use the borax in here to create this like layer, and it feels like glass. And what happens is the more borax you use in here, it gives it a good covering. And when the silver starts melting, you'll suddenly see the silver just ball up and float around like an egg in a frying pan. And that's when you know that it's easy and ready to pour. And see, I've gone straight out here my first time I've used this, and it's the flow has gone up there. So the more borax you use, the easier it gets. So we'll come to that in a minute. Anyway, here's your gas. This is propane. There's another type you can use, the MAPA gas, the yellow canister, which is a hotter gas. This seems to work pretty well. Let's start making some casts. Right, set the Delft clay out on a clean surface. Now this is clay infused with oil. So what you need to do now is get all these lumps out. So get yourself something like a knife or a ruler or something with a straight edge, and just break it all up like so. Okay, just give it a good mashing, just to get rid of all those big giant lumps. Okay, like so, like that. Okay, ready to go. Okay, now these are jeweler's rings. You'll notice that on these you've got notches here. Now obviously these line up, so when you put these two together like so, they will line up and you can't go wrong. Okay, you can get these off eBay. Different sizes. This is 100mm, so, and inside here you find these ridges which hold the clay in place. So get your rings. Now the way to do this is get the thinner one with this lip. Okay, this is the area where you're going to put your object inside. So turn it over like so with this lip facing down. Okay, push it in and onto the surface like so. Get your Delft clay and start packing it in there. Okay, like so. Give it a push down like that, and then you get your hammer. Okay, carefully just tap it into place. Not too hard, just give it a bit of compression. Like so. And then find yourself a straight edge and take off the excess Delft clay like that. You'll see it coming off. Like that. Okay, and then take it out, and then that is ready for an impression to go in there. Right, so now we've got the clay in our ring. So what we need to do now, okay, before we start putting something in there like this is going to go in, we need to put some talcum powder just on top of it like that. Okay, this allows the separation of the two rings much easier. Okay, so you're making a layer. And just gently with a brush, just get your talcum powder and just spread it all over, like so. Okay, makes a fine layer. So when you separate these two halves, it makes the job much easier. Okay, like so. Now, this is what we're going to cast. We're going to put this in here like this. Now gently push down, and then it's going to go in at least 3/4 of the way in. Okay, just gently with your fingers, push down. Okay, and then stop. Okay. Now, when we take this out, there's obviously going to be a space inside, and when we pour the metal in, it's going to push the gases somewhere, and the gases need to escape. So what we need to do, we need to create little air vents. Now I've made some little sticks from here. I'm going to put these in up against the item and just gently push down. Another one here, and then gently push down like so. Be a bit more talc just on top of that one there. You'll see in a minute why. Okay, but just put some more talc just to cover all the bits. Like so. Right, there we go. So that's ready now for this second half to go on. Okay. So we need to find this little notch here, which matches up with this one on here. Carefully put it over, push down. It's ready to go. So inside there now, it's ready for the second half of Delft clay. So here we are, the clay, put it in, push down, give it a tap with a hammer, not too hard, like so. Bit more clay, like so. Tap down. And then take off the excess from the top. Okay, like that. Now this is the fun bit. We need to separate these two rings. Okay. Now that layer of talcum powder should make it much easier. So let's see if it's worked. So gently, evenly, especially from the back, separate the two rings. Nice and slow, there's no rush. Okay. I should come up like that, and there should be an impression in there. You see those two air vents? We'll come to that in a minute. And then these two. Now carefully, a pair of tweezers, remove the air vents, like so. And then we're going to move this just a little bit, just give it some space, and we're going to lift this up carefully and out. So there you go. Put this to one side. We need to concentrate on this bit now. Right, this section here. Now this is ready for the air vent holes. Now get something pointy and sharp. Now see this air vent here? We need to put a hole here. Gently just push through. Okay, like so. That's one air vent. So obviously all the gases that inside this space are going to escape and out through that hole. And the same again here. Okay, like so, and out. Now, when we come to pour, we're going to be pouring from this side here. Somewhere around here we're going to pour in, okay? So we need a pour hole. I'm going to make one here. Gently just push in, okay? Like so. Give it a little wiggle, like that. That's how big we want it, okay? It's alright if it's just come up a bit, just like so, okay? And we turn it over. Now we need to make this area here much bigger. And the way we do that is use the knife and carefully remove some of the Delft clay to create a funnel. So when we pour the silver in, it doesn't splash everywhere and goes down the funnel and into the mould. So we'll come back in a minute and I'll have this finished and you'll see the result of the funnel. Okay, so now we've got our air channels with the hole and I've funneled it out, okay? So when we pour, it goes straight into there. You can see the size of the hole inside. So now we need to join the two halves together. Just make sure you've got no debris stuck in there. Give it a quick blow. Now match up your notch and carefully seal them together so they match up perfectly. Okay, you're now ready for pouring. Right, we need to weigh out some silver, so get yourself a container and the scales. Make sure this is zeroed, the container. Get your silver. We're going to use about 1.72 ounces of silver, that should be enough. So we've got about 1.8, 1.9 ounces of silver in there, okay? So we're now ready to smelt that. So here we go. Right, ready now for casting. So we've got a silver, we've got our borax, we've got a crucible, and we've got some water. So let's do it. So pour your silver into your crucible slowly and carefully, like so. Now use the gas, and here we go. All the silver moving, get it all melted. There we go. There we go. So we put the borax in, obviously it's flowing like an egg now inside there. So how easy it is to flow around. We're ready to cast. So keep the heat on the metal all the time as you go over. Okay, slowly. And it's with one shot. Okay, we poured the silver into the rings, into the sand. Now to cool it down, some water. You can see the smoke escaping from the air vents. Give it a few minutes to cool down, and just wait. Okay, so we've done the pour. It's cooled down a little bit, and I still feel the heat from it. Here's your pan of water. We're now going to separate the two halves. Okay, carefully, like so. Okay. And inside there's a silver bar. So with this black area, this is the oil that's burnt. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to scrape this out, and then we can reuse all this Delft again. Okay, so we scrape it out and reuse it again. Same with this side Now with the silver bar, straight into the to water like that. Okay, it's all cooled down now. Here's our ingot. Now this is obviously the pour end. This is the spout we created, the funnel, and that creates something like this. You just cut this off. You can either use a jeweler's saw or just like I did, just fell off basically. But just get yourself some sandpaper, very fine sandpaper. Give it a little sanding down. Give it a good clean up. Maybe even use the wire brush just to get rid of some of the crud. And there you have it. Once it's nice and clean. There you go, one silver solo Delft clay method hand poured silver bar.